Now this is the GFCI that we're going to go ahead and change, and I want to do some safety tests though. I'm not going to take it for granted that because I just turned off the breaker to the panel box that it's safe. So what I have in my hands right here is a device called a voltage detector, and the voltage detector is made by Greenlee. You can get this anywhere at a major hardware store. It's very, very handy and safe, a safety device that I use all the time. I do not touch anything electrical, work on anything electrical, unless I test it first. And this says very specifically to test on a known live circuit. So we're going to do that now. And I happen to have one here available. And you see that little tweet and the light going on and the noise going on? Well, that tells me that there is a live current here in this light. Now I'm going to go over here and test these wires here and test these again. Alright, so I have nothing. I'm also going to check it inside because this is what I fondly call the sniffer, and it kind of smells out any electrical current. None there whatsoever. I'm going to hit this just to show you if you ever bump this, it will tweet. See right there? Let me do it again. It did flicker, makes that noise right there. Alright, there's no live current there, but it does register again. So that tells me now that we're safe enough to go ahead and open up this receptacle box and start working on the wiring on the inside and changing out this GFCI. Okay, another safety tip is most electricians that I've ever worked with and worked for have a habit that I've noticed when they're dealing with a screwdriver, what I call a naked screwdriver. They have a tendency when working inside or even approaching at any point, they use this other hand, if they're right hand or whatever, they use this other hand here to touch this, to guide this, to kind of work with it as well. And that's not a very good habit to have, and it needs to be broken pretty quick, because if you were to get inside, and we'll talk about this more, but if you were to get inside and start working with this once you've removed this, and if for any reasons any of the wires are live and you didn't check or whatever, if you're touching this metal and you touch the wiring inside, you're going to get shocked. So the best habit to do is to either use the covered one, or if you use a naked, screwdriver, just go ahead and start getting in the habit of touching plastic only. And so there it goes, and I've removed the face plate. Now what we're going to do is get into the box itself. Again, I'm using a lot of safety, even though I've already checked it. I've kind of broken myself of the habit of using my left hand, because I'm right-handed, and using any part of the naked or exposed screwdriver. So I'm not touching the metal part at all. Now I've already checked it, I've double checked it, I'll recheck it again just to make sure that there's no current in there. So I'm going to lay my screwdriver aside, reach inside here now, and expose this. Now I'm not even touching anything electrical as far as wiring goes, but you know, I'm going to take my sniffer one more time and just check it. There is an on and off switch that you could take left and right, and I'm going to test it one more time down here. I've got power down there, and I'm going to touch this inside. There's absolutely no power in there whatsoever. Okay, that little beep was because I hit it. I can even hit the stud, but if it sounds off like that, then I know I do have that, and that's on a light that I'm using below. All right, there are several different ways to change out a electrical part here. First off, I'm going to have to look at the back of this, and let me just show you on the new one that I'm going to put on here is if you'll read real closely on the one that you put in, there usually comes with a brand new one, the yellow tape across, and it just says that this is for load, but then you have exposed on the bottom for line in. The way I remember it is the line comes in, the power line comes in, the load is carried out. So the little slogan that I use there again is the power line comes in, the load is carried out. So in other words, this would feed off to another outlet or some receptacle or even a light sometimes, just to give it power. But the line in, so in other words, line in, power out, or power line in and load out. Excuse me. Power line in, load out. All right. So now I have to determine what lines is my power line and what is my load line. So what I'm going to do here is just go ahead and remove one of these wires. And most of the time you have to take this and pretty much work with it a little bit. Okay, it's still curved. Now I'm going to get this to where I can read this. I'm going to take the ground wire off. The ground wire is connected to the green screw, and you can tell another way of dealing with a ground wire is it's bare. I'll talk to you just a second about the different color of lines because this can be confusing at times. I'm going to expose this completely here. Now the reason I've only done one circuit or one line in or one line, I want to find out, and sure enough it's pretty much like this other one here is let me take this tape off here just to show you a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take it off because I know they're going to have to use the load out. Take that tape off, set it aside, and look at the difference on this, the way the design is. The power line in, the load is a little bit further out. So what I'm going to do here is I know for sure that this is my line. So there's different ways you can mark these. What I'm going to do is put my power to the right and then my load to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and undo these wires here as well. Put that to the left. So I got load to the left. Load to the left. Alright, I'm going to set this aside. Don't need it anymore. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah.